All right, we back. My expert opinion, the greatest show in the world. Y'all need to echo me when I'm gonna do it one more time. The greatest show in the world. Fire! Do that from now on. I love it. Yo, shout out to the subscribers. I love y'all. Hit that like, hit that share. Let everybody know you in here. Of course, you know paper.
Unless you's a mother.
Hater. I love it. I love this echo thing. We're gonna keep it doing. We're gonna keep doing it. Ah, MECC.
Salute, King.
How you doing, sir?
Respectable.
Yo, there's mad haters on my right now, bro. It's crazy.
Why would you tell me that?
Man, it's crazy. We're gonna. Dad don't want me to talk about it.
If you ignore them, they go away.
Thank you.
They don't go away, bro.
Only a loser wants a rematch.
Tell them again. Repeat that one more time.
I'm not mad at that.
Winners don't fight twice. Only the dude who lost wants to fight again. If I already won.
I ain't even get to hook off yet.
It means you already won.
Yeah, think about that. Thank you, MECC.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Thank you, MECC.
Sometimes you need
right
good
there.
friends around to be like
That's my
the voice
Aries
of
brother
reason.
right there.
You know, because sometimes, it's what it is. Sean Bigger, how you feel?
Maintaining everything.
Bigger told me run down. I don't know what you talking about. Bigger told me run down.
You lie. Bigger size lie.
I would say, do lions hear sheep?
Only when it's time to eat.
That's a bar right there.
I ain't mad at that. Cat murder.
We in the building. I want to send a happy birthday to my man KK. Happy birthday to my boy.
Happy
KK.
birthday.
Oh, it's KK's birthday.
KK.
Yo, KK, you gotta come in front of the camera, son. You gotta come in front of the camera.
Nobody know what you be looking like.
Bag man.
Listen, man.
Bag man.
Accept no imitations. This is KK47.
That's right.
One of our dynamic duo behind the cameras. Is if anybody else is claiming that they shoot these episodes, they're lying. It's the real deal. Happy birthday, brother.
KK.
Happy birthday, brother.
Hey, my boy.
I love this guy.
Happy
birthday,
my
bro.
boy.
Good catch, Cat.
Champ, how you feeling?
Man.
Fresh out,
Man.
nothing to go back.
No. Not at all. I'm not going back. I'm not going back in that hellhole.
Right.
First, I want to say to you, good is the enemy of great and extraordinary is mandatory. A lot of these cats out here are just good. They're good at being haters. They're good at being thieves, jealous, envious, all of the negative things. That's what they're good at, but you're an extraordinary individual. Always remember that. You're nothing less than extraordinary. All right?
I'm good at something else, though.
Nah,
I'm just saying.
Nah. You're extraordinary, bro. And I just want to say shout out to all the subscribers. YKTV Magazine again. Book publishers, writers, artists. If you're trying to get in this magazine, let me know. We get you popping in the jails, get you that JPay link, get y'all music going, and get y'all a bag, man. Holla at me.
Tonight, when we talk about strong women, it don't get much stronger than this. She's been through a lot. She's lived a life that rappers rap about. She's a survivor. When I got the offer for her to be on the show, it was an offer I couldn't refuse. Okay? Renee Graziano was on the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. I think I'm gonna cry already. You might as well just leave them by me.
Just keep it right next to you.
Safe here.
Just keep it right next to you.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I am a survivor, and I am strong. And whoever's picking on you, give me the number. I'll handle it.
Oh yeah?
Oh, for the
I'll
love of
send
God.
somebody.
You just died.
It's okay. He ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
There it is.
Nobody
There
do
it
it.
is.
Oh, shit.
Well, you're not gonna know if someone did it.
Oh, for Jesus H.
That's how I feel.
You are not
Yeah,
helping.
man.
You are not helping.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
right,
But I
right.
feel you on that.
Yes.
So
You know
I
what I mean?
definitely do. I do. But I've learned they don't deserve the attention of an emperor. empress. So.
Tell them again,
No,
please.
man, is
Ty,
that-
tell them this.
Yeah,
all the
come
time.
on, come
Tell
on,
them again,
man.
please.
No, they don't deserve
Tell
his
'em again.
attention whatsoever. And like I said, I go through it's daily. I read some of my DMs. I'm like, really? You know, they talk crazy shit, whether it's about my dad, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. And I got to the point where it's just like block, because I can't get you. I can't get you. So I might as well block you.
They wouldn't say that if you
I
couldn't.
wish, there needs to be a block
you were
button on
closer-
YouTube.
If you were close enough to them,
Word.
they wouldn't say it.
Now, that's
Probably
the-
not.
Yeah.
No, definitely
No, that's
not.
the truth.
Okay, okay.
In person, they'd want an autograph.
They're cowards.
Ooh, yellow belly. Yellow belly, my father would say.
Yellow bellies,
belly.
yellow backs.
There's a saying that says you can judge a man by the quality of his enemies. If you make these people your enemies and you consider them low lives, what are you? You wonder why
Bored.
I don't read the comment section.
Yeah, you're right. I get
Okay.
it. I get it.
Don't do it to yourself, man. Go the other way.
Now, the last time we saw each other,
Yes, I was crying.
what
I was crying.
what
hell
was
did you do?
What was the name of that restaurant?
We went to my cousin's restaurant, Danino's.
Danino's.
The pizza's so good.
Yeah, what I had spaghetti and shrimp.
Garlic.
shrimp
I think,
scampi. Yeah, shrimp
scampi.
scampi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it was great. It
Yes,
was
I'm
great.
glad you enjoyed
And
it.
we were shooting your new show.
Breaking Bread.
Mm-hmm.
So Breaking Bread is a conversation over food, similar to what you do, just at a table with some food.
Yeah.
Talking about real life stuff, you know, things that we have been censored on. And it's a feel good. I just want people to feel good. Like I'm really big on love. Like love is like the greatest thing in the world to me.
It is.
It is. And it's just, I think we're missing that in the
Yeah.
world right now.
Yeah, they don't even play R&B on the radio anymore.
No.
It's crazy.
No.
They don't want us to love.
Nope.
Why?
Hate is more entertaining.
No, it's really not. It's
It-
really not.
When's the last time you stopped and looked at two people hugging each other? But what kind of crowd do you see when two people are fighting
I
each
just
other?
came from Paris, so I saw a lot of that. I saw a lot of that. It's truly the city of love. But forget Paris. Let's travel all the way back because we got to talk that day,
Yes, we did.
and you told me some interesting things about your dad, who you adore. Look, it's about to start.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
no. I'm going to try to do it without crying.
However, you was in the hood. What was you doing in the hood?
When was I
Renee?
in the hood?
You was in the hood.
Oh, you mean when I was in Rayos?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. So this one time, Black Rob and I are standing on the corner, 115.
What
and-
kind of fucking story starts like that? Just one time, me and Black
So-
Rob.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Black Rob, by
Yes,
the way.
absolutely. I was very sheltered all of my life, and I just had to stay where my father told me. And then I started to experience life. I think when I started like getting into the hip hop, I was an assistant to Tiffany Hasborn, who was 50 Cent's wardrobe stylist, and she brought me on board. And I had absolutely no clue what I was doing, but I was like, I could do this because it's clothes and it's men. I got this. And the more involved I got in the industry, the more I started to feel like, hey, I think I belong here. Because growing up in my world, you're told what to do, where to stay, who to date. You know, you can't go to this block, that neighborhood.
Well, what exactly is your world for the people that don't know?
Oh, the mob. My father was a boss. I grew up with all Italians. I was only allowed to stay with Italians if they weren't wise guys' sons. You know, it had to be somewhat related to my lifestyle. And then when I was about 30, I met Tiffany Hasborn, and she's Black and Spanish. It was my first Black friend. And I was like, oh my God, there's no difference. I'm so excited. I just, not that my parents aren't prejudiced. My nephew is Black, my son is Spanish. So it's not that, it was my father's world. So because of what he did for a living, there are certain rules that I had to abide by, which I did. But once I figured it out, I was like, see ya, Pops. Leading up to 115 at First Avenue.
With Black Rob.
With Black Rob, and he's drinking out of a paper bag, and he's smoking a blunt, and I have a mink coat on. I'm like, I want to do that too. So all of a sudden, yeah, I was really sheltered.
Right.
So two cars pull up, two black Lincolns, and they were like, Robbie, get in the car. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, and your father's looking for you. My father was locked up at the time. I'm like, how could he be looking for me? Go to Rayo's. My father was on the phone. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, oh, but Daddy. He was like, get in the car and go home. So that was yeah, after that, I ducked those phone calls.
Right. Right.
You know,
Was there no more
I
pull-ups?
wanted to know what life was, what everybody's talking about. Like, you know, being this mob boss's daughter and only allowed to stay with certain people. I grew out of those people. And I was experiencing life for the first time in my 30s.
Wow.
You know, I just got divorced. Well, I left my rat ex-husband. I left him, and I wanted to know what life was about. So I dove in head first.
How does a father go about explaining the rules of this life to his daughter?
Yeah.
I can't imagine he handed you a manual.
Yeah. Or rather, what age did you realize? Oh,
Well, I always knew I was.
my dad is a mob boss.
I always knew I was different. Like most of the kids' fathers worked 9 to 5. My father worked 5 to 9 and came home a few days later, you know. And we had more than everybody else on the block. Like the candy man would come around and my father would buy the truck out for the kids. So I knew we had money. That I understood. I had a fur-coated 7 jewelry. I just thought maybe, okay, so my dad's rich. It wasn't until I was in 5th grade that the kids glued an article of my dad getting arrested on my desk. Yeah, I was bullied really bad in school too. So I came to school and I read this and I went home. My father goes, "Don't pay no attention. Go in your room." That was his answer. Go in your room for everything. But at 16, I was at the end of the bar in Pastels Club in Brooklyn. Like every mob child hung out there. And a guy came around the corner. I was standing there with my best friend, Teddy. And the guy says, "Oh, isn't that TG's daughter?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Renee," and he introduced us. He goes, "Yeah, father's a captain." I said, "My father doesn't drive a boat. My father doesn't say, what are you talking about, captain?" And my friend Teddy's hitting me. And he said, "Go home and talk to your dad." And I went home and I woke him up. I was like, "Dad, this is something you want to tell me?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "You drive a boat?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "You're a captain." He said, "Sit down." And where other kids at this age are learning about the birds and the bees, I was learning about captains and soldiers. So he never once said anything to me that would implicate him in that lifestyle, but he said, "You're different. And you have to understand, men are going to approach you differently. Things are going to be done for you differently. You never wait online. You never pay for anything." So I was like, hey, a little
That
light
sounds
bulb.
good.
I was like, "Daddy, can I go to the jeweler? Daddy, can I go to the furrier?" And that's what it was. It was the glamour that they say comes with that lifestyle. That's the glamour. The diamonds and the furs and the big houses. But it is very far from glamorous, that life. Very far.
So continuing on, once you learned that, of course there were perks.
Absolutely.
What were the biggest perks that you enjoyed?
Anything I wanted.
Anything.
Anything I wanted. I could tell anyone, any man, grown man, to do what I said. And he had to.
Give me 3 occasions.
You know what? I'm really not even the type to make people do things for me. You know, I would do for them first. But it, like, if somebody bothered me, I was like, I want them dismissed. I was a bitch. I was, you know. My girlfriends called me Alexis Carrington from Dynasty. I had that. Yeah, I did, with the fur coats and the hats and the whole bit. But I had this air. I never wanted to bring anybody harm. But if you did something wrong to me, you were in trouble.
Right.
And a few people got in trouble.
How many times did you ever get in trouble? Did you ever abuse your privilege?
Not really, because he told me to do what I want, so I wasn't abusing it.
She was just doing what she wanted.
He said, "Do what you want." No, not true. I got in trouble like one time, maybe.
What was that?
I told a man who was one of those guys. Oh, button is what I'm.
I don't
sorry.
know what
I
that
know. Like
Nipple?
it had a button, and
Yeah.
I told him what I thought about him, and I'm not allowed to. You're not allowed to speak to them disrespectfully, but I did. And I got a little bit of trouble.
That was that.
That was it. My father's like, you can't talk like that. You're not a guy, so you can't talk like that. But if you tell me I can do what I want, I'm going to do what I want. You know, you have to. I'm the type of person you have to explain to me. Renee, stay on the right. Renee, go in the middle. And I follow direction. Wonderful. Maybe not in business all the time because my manager will tell you different. But for the most part, if you tell me what to do, I do it.
That's different. There's a discipline that comes with being able to do whatever you want, not abusing it, and then there's a discipline that comes with being able to stay inside of a discipline, right? You have to be able to stay to the right or do whatever you want. That's a weird dynamic that you'd have to balance in order to not end up too far in either direction.
Well, my life it's not an easy life, but, and I'll say it, but, you know, I watched how my mother operated around my father, so I knew my place as a woman. However, when my father was telling me to do whatever I want, I'm no longer the wife in the kitchen. I'm the daughter of a gangster, so I'm going to do what I want. As a woman, I know my place. But take me out of that woman situation, and I'm somebody else.
Right.
So, you know, it gets complicated at times. I forget. I'd much rather be told to play my position, and shame on me, because a lot of women are going to see it and be like, what is she talking?
I was about to say that
It's
next.
okay. What's not for them is not for them. What's for me is, you know, if I'm the wife and I'm home and I cook and I clean, that's my position. I play it. But if the man makes a mistake in the relationship, it might be you I'm cooking.
Then you get out of pocket.
No, it just might be him on the stove or in the oven.
You didn't have to look at me and say that part.
I'm just
You
being
got the pink sweater on, buddy.
honest.
Could have looked someplace else and said that. That's all I'm saying. So how do you explain this to your children? Because wife and mother, princess of a captain.
Boss. No, that was when I was a kid.
Okay, boss. Excuse me. Okay. Don't want to mislabel anything. No, I got you. But now you're a mom, and your children are now in this life, and you have to explain it to them the way your father did it to you. Can you do that, or is there a discipline for them that was different from yours?
Yes, very different. So I married a man. Growing up, I wanted to marry someone like my father. You know, we were always very well protected. So I thought the man that I was marrying was going to protect me. However, he was the man I needed protection from. So I'm a domestic violence survivor. I married the devil.
Sorry to hear that.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm still standing. So I only have one child. I have one son. And for him, he had a very hard life. At the age of 5, he was visiting every family member in prison. I had then left his father. So AJ grew up with me. And whatever my son wanted, I gave him. A lot of it out of guilt, because my father's in prison, his father, my old brother-in-law is everything. So I didn't know how to navigate as a single mom, because I have 2 parents. And my mom is a very quiet woman. I have tremendous respect for her in one sense, but on the other hand, I'm like, you didn't give me a backbone, because I laid down for a lot of things I shouldn't have. My son, your grandfather is who he is. Respect him and everything will be okay. You know, and AJ had a different life, you know, very, very different. When he was 15, we were already on TV. You know, my father was gone for 15 years of his life. And his father, he was there, but was he there? You know. And then we had to duck and hide after his father cooperated and put my father in prison. So it's not an easy thing to be a single mom first, and then a mom of, my father was the consigliere of the Bonanno crime family, but then to have your husband, ex-husband, rat on your father. I pulled my son right out of school.
It's tough. But I gotta ask though, Knowing the power that your father had, why would you take the abuse?
I'm just learning that I was mentally abused more than I was physically abused.
In what way?
So growing up, I was picked on. I was told how ugly I was, and this was wrong with me, and that was wrong with me, and it transferred onto my relationship. So the little bit of love that he would show me, I would crave so desperately that if he told me, you know, you need this fixed on your body and that fixed, like my ass. We'll talk about my ass for a second. He would just always pick on me because I didn't have an ass. So I went and got one, which I died on the operating table for. Not for myself. I didn't want it. He wanted it. Mm-hmm. So you're not pretty enough. So I got a nose job. So I started to become what he wanted me to become. And when I was younger, about 15, my first boyfriend gave me a black eye. And my father, I came home and my father goes, "What happened to you?" And I was like, "Oh, no, Dad, I walked into the door. It's okay." He said, "Sit down. I'm going to ask you one more time. What happened to you?" And I know that tone he's using. So I told him. I picked up the phone. He said, "Hey, Frank, go grab your son and meet me, yada, yada." I hung up the phone, called somebody else. He said, "Meet me here and there." He said, "Get in the car." I was like, "Okay." So I'm singing in the car. He's like, "Shut up." And it was to the Isley Brothers, Between the Sheets. He goes, "How the fuck do you know that?" And I was like, "I don't know nothing. So we get to the place, and he goes, "Go inside." I went inside. He goes, "Don't look out the window." So to me, that means look out the window.
Yeah.
Well, when I looked out the window, I saw someone that ended up with a cast on his arm. So after that, I never wanted for anyone to be hurt because of me. And it didn't matter what they were doing to me. I didn't want them to experience the consequence of hurt.
Even though you were being hurt.
It didn't matter because, shame on me, my love was so much greater for the person, or my loyalty was so much greater for that person, that I sacrificed myself. And for many years, I did that. Many, many years. Unfortunately, it was, and I say I married the devil because his last name is Pagan and I'm Catholic. And God gave me the biggest sign in the whole entire world. And then I got married in a church called Our Lady of Pity. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than that, okay? Okay, I swear. And then a black crow flies in. I saw on camera. And the priest kissed my father on the cheek because my father was so respected. My father didn't kiss me. He left me there. And I'm like, and I cried. The day I got married, I cried and I told my father, "Please, Daddy, please, I don't want to marry." He said, "You got 500 people coming to the wedding. Get down the fucking aisle. You'll get divorced tomorrow."
That's crazy.
And that was what I learned, that people sometimes want it more for themselves than for what the show.
Yeah.
And God, my father's great, but he made a mistake that day. A very big mistake.
Right. And this was a mistake that eventually showed itself.
It did. It led me down a rabbit hole of drugs. It went from champagne and cocaine when I was growing up. That was like the fun rich girl thing. And then it became where I just didn't want to think. And that went on for many years. I wasn't an everyday user, but when I knew I was going to catch a beating, I knew I had to brace myself. And I never told, and I'm so mad at myself for never telling, because I would have saved myself a lot of heartache.
It's okay.
But I wouldn't be able to tell everybody a story that could maybe save their daughter from something. So,
how did it start?
Oh, God. True story. He had just come home from jail, because I thought this was going to be like the perfect guy. He came with a PSI report. "Daddy, you got a PSI report. You can read all about him." Yeah. We were driving in the car. We were going up Huguenot Avenue. I'll never forget it. and I was licking my ice cream cone. And a guy was next to me, and he looked at me, and he smashed my face and the ice cream cone into the window. He said, "Don't you ever eat an ice cream cone like that." And I was like, "Well, how do you eat ice cream?" Like, innocent to, like, I'm licking my ice cream cone. That's the day it started. And it progressed and progressed.
So a lot of jealousy, insecurity?
A lot of insecurity. He was 23 when he came home from jail, and we were engaged a month and 19 days after I met him. And moved fast. I was always the type, I want what I want it now, and you're gonna give this to me. And
what was it about him? Was it the jail body?
No, he
they come
well, he
home
really
and
did have a nice body, but it was about you can protect me. I see muscle. I see the way that you are. When men were around me, he would always just make me feel safe. Right. So I thought he was the right one, and I wanted to be married. I was 21 already. I'm like, oh my God, everybody growing up. I'm 53, so back then. By 24, I want children, I want this, I want that.
Was that the culture?
Yeah.
Traditional.
Like Italians, yeah. I mean, my mother was married at 16. My sister was married at 23. I wanted to be a wife and a mother. Wow. To me, that's the greatest thing in the world.
Contrast is so different. Like, shout out to the brat. She's pregnant at 40.
Whatever. Oh, congratulations.
You were about to say 47.
48.
48.
God bless her.
For the first time.
God bless her.
Yeah, that's amazing. 48. Shout out to the brat. But for you.
So for me, how I got engaged was my father called the jeweler. The jeweler came over, dumped a bag of rings on the table, and he said, "Renee, pick the biggest one." I did. And that's how I got engaged. It's sad to say I know now, but he dated me because of my dad. He wanted to be a gangster so bad. He has a Spanish last name, so he couldn't be. It's Italian mom, Spanish father. And I started to see that, and the jealousy when we'd go out, men would kiss me hello first, and it would bother him to the point that when we left wherever we were, he'd become very angry at me. And that's not my fault. That's the way it's supposed to be. I'm my father's daughter. After my father becomes me. It progressed in every single way, shape, or form. We own strip clubs. The next thing you know, he's got this stripper girlfriend. I'm pregnant. I was very, very ill my whole pregnancy. I lost 25 pounds in my 4th month. My body shut down. And after being in the hospital for a week, wow, I fucking hate him. Oops, sorry, that just came out. I'm thinking about taking that cab home. I'm thinking about taking the cab home. He told me to take a cab home. I was violently ill. I would sleep in the bathtub with my dog. Dead ass.
How is it that a father like yours didn't get a chance to vet a man like this? And I use the term man very loosely. Yeah. He's got daughters. Yeah. I can't see him letting a guy like that through the...
Not a thing.
Say it again?
My father knew nothing.
How? He knew you were on the corner with Black Rob in the middle of the night.
That was after I was divorced. No, my ex-husband played them very, very well. He would tell them, "Oh, Renee threw herself down." I swear to God, like dead ass. He would say, "Renee's abusing herself." Like dead fucking ass. He had everyone in my family convinced that I was crazy. Now, I'm not going to say I'm not a little nuts, but I'm not crazy. It wasn't until he cooperated with the government that everybody started to say, "I'm so sorry, we knew. Fuck you, you're late." Right. I took that beating more times than I needed to. And I took it. But I can't tell because it's not in my DNA. And for anyone who does suffer from abuse, tell. I don't give a fuck who you tell. Just tell somebody. Because I learned at 8 years old, my older sister, she's 9 years older. So my father was a gambler and he had this big piggy bank. And he'd come home from all the card games and he would stuff it with money. So my older sister would make me play Chicky and she would turn it upside down. She'd have the flashlight and the salad tongs.
What's Chicky?
Chicky?
Yeah.
like watch out. Like I don't know, we called it Chicky.
What's chicky?
Yeah, can you explain?
You're watching
No.
out. You're watching out for somebody who's coming.
Yeah, let's
that
play
was
Chicky.
crazy.
Like
I'm talking about a woman. You know exactly what
right.
I'm
I don't know what the term is nowadays, but back then
Look
it was
out.
Yeah.
Look out.
Look out.
Look
Look
out.
out.
Look
Okay.
out.
So I was the lookout.
Right.
And she would turn the pig over and she would pull out all the big money. So one day my father goes, come on, Renee, let's count money. I was maybe 8. I was like, okay, I'm so excited. You know, me and my dad, he would always let me count money. Put me on the table, gets the big hammer, cracks it open, and there's 10s and 5s.
That's like a piñata, right? Like
Yeah, it was a
something like
paper mache piggy bank.
Right.
And he said, Renee, where's the money? I said, Lana took it. Bang. Right across the mouth. And he said, don't you ever fucking tell on anybody in your life. And I said, but you asked me. He said, don't you ever tell on anyone. And I took that way too serious.
Yeah, that lesson went the wrong way.
Yeah.
But this is the same dad who popped the kid's arm out of place for giving you a black eye.
2 actually, but yes.
Okay, 2 black eyes or 2 arms?
2 arms.
Okay, well, then a dude who's like, you know, smashing your face against the window.
I'm not around. I'll hide. I'll stay home. I won't come around. My father was in jail sometimes and he was out. My father was on the road. But regardless, I covered it up. And I covered up everything I was experiencing, which led to severe depression, anxiety. I have insomnia. I would never sleep. I would always be by the window waiting for him to get home. And it wasn't always bad when he came home, but it was bad.
Right. What were you taking?
Oh, back then? Okay, so I always, cocaine. That was my drug of choice.
Cocaine. That keeps you up.
Kept me up, but it stopped me from thinking.
Yeah.
It stopped me from thinking. I didn't take a pill until I was 37 and a half. And I was attacked by a predator at 37, and my dad was in jail, my ex-husband was in jail, everybody was in jail. So the doc said, this will help you sleep. So I figured, wow, if I could sleep 3 days out of the week, then I can't think about it. I only got to deal with 4. And that's what I did.
Did the predator go to jail?
No, he's in the mental ward. You can't, they don't go to jail if they're in mental ward. You have to actually only catch them when they're in transport.
Right.
But there is a police report behind it. Because I did do that for myself.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Not that anyone believed me at home. 2 years went by. My father was in jail. And my mom would say, oh, I think she lost her mind. I mailed my father the police report. Mm-hmm. And I let him read what that man did.
So, was your mother, where was your mother?
My mother was always around. My mother's like very la-di-da, you know. Mm-hmm. She's super smart, super beautiful. I can't figure out how she lived her life, like turning a blind eye. Like, I ain't turning a blind eye. Like, there was situations, infidelity, you know, things that I found out. I'd go grab the girl, you know. But my mom she played her position, period. But that made me very angry because I wanted to be just like her, but now I don't want to be nothing like her. So I started to become this woman who was very, very strong. I knew I was powerful, but I have a mouth on me that's bad, very aggressive. But I'm going to tell you about yourself. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you can't tell a man about himself because he don't want to hear his truth.
Right.
So if you're doing wrong by me, go get fucking earplugs. Or leave, or move, or leave the relationship because I'm going to let you know because I'm not dumb by any fucking means.
Right.
I might be quiet because I'm collecting information, but when I get it all, I suggest you leave.
How much grace have you been able to give your mother since you've now become a wife, been a wife, and are now a mother? Because you have to figure, a lot of what she did. First of all, she probably saw worse than you, coming up with your father. There was probably a lot of times when she was told not to look out the window and she did.
No.
And I would also imagine that in her mind, most of what she did was for you.
Everything that she did were for her children. My father never took business home, nothing. I've never was afraid, not one day in my life when my father was around, not one day. I had nothing to fear at all. So when he passed almost 4 years ago, my whole world crashed. And I knew my ex-husband was going to come home eventually. And he was always threatening, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. Letters, everything.
Why?
Because when he cooperated, I put it this way, I would have stayed with that man, beatings, whatever he did, I would have never left. But you ratted, you're done. I'll destroy you. You'll never go anywhere in this world without that tag and your tail showing. So I did it. That's it, I did it. I was on every television show, and that's what he's a rat. A rat is a rat is a rat, period. It's not even the whole ratting thing that irks me. It's what he did to my kid and my father. You left my son out there. You left my son out there. Often been to get hurt. No longer had my dad because my dad got, more time. But you left my son out there. They say you have to find forgiveness. I forgive him for what he did to me. I don't have to forgive him for what he did to my son. That's for my son, and that was for my father. So as my father's daughter and as AJ's mother, you're fucked. And that's just what it is. And I will never, ever, ever, ever change that. People say, oh, you live in your past. My past is my life.
Present.
It's not my past.
It's happening now.
It's happening now. Like this asshole of a human had the audacity to contact me. I had 11 and a half months clean. It was October of last year. And he DM'd my phone. And I read it. And I read what it said. I think it maybe took me 2 days. And I popped the pill. Because I was like, fuck, my dad isn't here. It's his wish to me. What I asked him to do, my father would have did. After I told my father everything before he died. I didn't know my father was going to get dementia. But my father would have handled it accordingly. So I knew I was on my own now. And it just sent me so backwards because every fear I had of this man, every sleepless night, I just started to sleep, it all came back. And I forfeited my sobriety, and that's on me. That's not on him. That's on me. I did it. He didn't do that. I did. I will own responsibility. But there's sometimes that when you're in recovery and these triggers happen, sometimes you don't have enough maybe discipline or belief in yourself. So I knew what comfort was to me. And I, sadly to say, it's like I was okay with what he was doing to me because I knew what it was. It's when I started to recover and I started to realize, oh my God, I'm pretty. Oh my God, people like me. And I started to find myself. And but the second he came back, I kid you not, he's the devil's son. I kid you not. Like that, it's this. I know what he's capable of. I know what, he went to jail for 4 bodies. I know what you're capable of, right? So I know what I endured from a shattered coccyx bone, to my face, to I know what I endured. So I know it's a possibility that it could is a probable possibility. Okay. I couldn't handle it. And I just started to self-medicate. I got into a really bad car accident on January 4th of 2022, flipped my car, got arrested. However, they dropped all the charges because there was no drugs in my system nor alcohol, so they dropped them. But it just sent me backwards, for several months. So I would say from November to February, I went backwards, and then I went away and I started doing trauma work. And then I started to understand what was wrong with me and why I tick the way I do and why I do the things that I do. So my personality for a man that has a personality like mine, it's probably, it's choppy waters, because I want to be that lady, but I'm afraid you're going to do to me what the last guy did, because he was strong. He was this, he was that. How am I supposed to believe you?
Right.
I've been treated a certain way by my family, but you want me to trust you. How am I going to trust you? My
How?
family did it to me. So how am I going to trust you? So in step 3, in recovery, it's like you turn your will over to God. So I turn it over and then I want it right back. And I've done that with my recovery for many, many years. But I'm realizing that I don't have control over everything. I don't have control over another human. What you're going to do, you're going to do. I can't stop you from doing it. I might prolong it.
Right.
I might find out about it, but you did it. You already did it to me.
Right.
So I think that has shaped me into the person I am, and why we could sit here and have this conversation. Yes, I am a strong woman, but I will be damned if I lay down for a man and let him walk on me. Not dead. And I've been dead a couple times. Not dead. So for me now in my life, I think going forward and dating, I want someone who is solid. Just be solid. Just be something I like every day. Just be my friend. Money, we can make that all day long. Just be the man you say you are. Be the man that I'm asking you to be. If you can't be that, you could go. Because like you came, someone else will come. So it's not like, there's not a shortage on men. There might be a shortage on good women right now.
Yeah.
I have
We're
a
going to
question.
get letters about that.
That's a fact.
No arguments. No arguments.
Isn't it like, do you feel like it's unfortunate that you came up, and this is for many women out there, right? Not only yourself, that you come up in such a patriarchal, right, living situation, right? And the way you lived your life was based off of how you were raised, right? What you were indoctrinated with.
Yes.
Right? And then you get it later on in life, because obviously God has a purpose for you, because you're still here, right? So do you feel like it's unfortunate that you grow up that way and you don't get it till way later?
Oh, a lot of things in my life were unfortunate. My father should have told me to go to work. My father should have never told me, this is your life. A man takes care of you. You don't do nothing. There was a lot of things that I learned later on that I wish I would have learned earlier on. And that's a big one. Like for me, I'm the type of woman, I'm used to being taken care of. I'll take care of everything we have to at home, but why do I have to work? And that's a really big one. But I think what I'm learning about myself is my father doled out everything he did at the proper time. He didn't give it to me early on because I was the very sensitive child. I have my older sister and my younger sister's a Scorpio, and they're like, the two of them. But me, I got, oh my God. I got all of the emotion. Everything they're missing, I got it.
Right.
So I don't think with my head, I think with my heart, and shame on me for that. But I think my father gave it out to me the way it needed to be given out. But when he died, I was like, oh shit. He was teaching me all along. But I was just too busy being the girl in the house, and I didn't know. So it's like, buckle up. And I have, I fell apart. There were 2 years of my life, but I was a mess. I was a mess.
I mean, but who wouldn't?
Oh, you know what? My sisters didn't. They didn't.
But I'm pretty sure they didn't go through the same things that you did. I mean, imagine being in a marriage. Not only you going through abuse and you're trying to cope with insecurities that this man has, and he's injected them into you, but then he turns around and he takes away your protector. Like, what was that moment like where you found out? Like, what was going on when you found out? Oh, he's the one telling on my dad, my husband.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was on television that I found out. Because it was in real time. It was happening in real time. And
this was during the show?
This was during Mob Wives.
Yeah.
It was all in real time. And they made each girl come to the house with a newspaper that read, Mob Wife star hubby is a snitch. And I had to go through that 7 different times with 7 different women. And I kept saying, it's not possible. No way, he's the killer. No way, no way.
Yeah.
And I called my dad. I was like, Dad, I can't find him. He's not in, MDC. I got the number. I got the lawyer. I got the house, da-da-da. He's like, Renee, and my father, I swear to God, he said, mind your fucking business. I was like, Daddy, and he's like, Renee, I'm telling you, sit this one out. And the doorbell rang. And there's this horrible scream on Mob Wives. I was actually on the phone with my dad, and my nephew, Justin, goes, Poppy, it's the police. And my father was only home 3 months after 12 years. And they took him. And he's like, if you come here, it's going to be a murder case. Stay the fuck over there. Mind your fucking business. That's all he kept saying. I was like, but Daddy, I don't understand. I don't understand. He's like, you're going to, Renee. Next day, 2 of my dear friends came to the house. And they said, we're going to put the money up. We're going to go inside and look for him, see if he's there. They came back and they told me he's not there. He was calling me. So I was going to take his word over anybody else's at that particular time. And he admitted it.
What did he say?
He said he cooperated.
Why? What was his reason?
The bitch. Because he couldn't fucking do 33 fucking years. And he had to say, like, oh, the feds got the death penalty. The feds don't have the fucking death penalty. They have it, but you're not dying.
Right.
Like, you pussied out. Like, you're a punk. I'd spit on him if I saw him. I think he's evil. I just think that's evil. My father was going to adopt him and give him that Italian last name he needed.
Wow.
Oh, you guys have like no clue.
That was crazy.
Like he was more the son than I was the daughter. I was like the daughter-in-law. Like my father loved this man. Like it was his flesh and blood. So the feeling I had was empty. I was empty. I had a nervous breakdown on television. I spent about 10 days in the hospital. I don't think I've ever truly recovered from anything that I've experienced at that magnitude. I think I just, went along the way, and if I could self-medicate, I did, or, looking for relationships in all the wrong people. Oh my God. But this is me, and I'm still here, and I'm still standing. And my son is 28, and he's good. I have 2 and 2 twin girls any day now. So whatever God's plan is a lot more important than whatever I think it should be. And I just have to take that.
Did everything you went through make you stronger?
I don't know. It made me a little more crazy. But stronger? No, my heart can still get broken. I had said to Matt, I said, and shame on me who's listening to this. I said, I think I'd rather be smacked than cheated on.
Jeez Louise.
No, that's real shit. And I'll tell you why.
Mm.
That level of betrayal is something other to me. Like I could take a beating, I'll fucking heal. But you break my heart, you come from what I give you is, and nobody's hitting me. Understand that. I would never let anybody hit me.
Right.
But I'm saying the pain between a smack and a heartbreak, the smack doesn't hurt as much.
I get it.
As heartbreak. Maybe I should have said it that way.
Right.
Like that doesn't hurt as much as having your heart broken. So my heart has been really broken, like into little tiny pieces. So now that I've built it back up, that's a problem for me. Like I'd much rather you leave. Like just go. It's okay. I'll live. But that betrayal, like you touching on the lines of my ex-husband and that type of betrayal.
Yeah.
Because that broke what he did to me, that broke my heart.
It's triggering.
Yeah, it broke my heart. Right. So that's the one thing about me. I'll do whatever you tell me. Just please respect me in that manner. You
realize that it's a cruel world, and I know that you believe in God. So you realize you said something earlier about the devil's son, and that was key thing to me, because like, how do you become a son? That means the devil your father, so somehow you have influence. As you know, we're victims, you know, so if what actually happens is a demonic possession, when we, and this is for everybody in here, when you live a life of sin, you are taken over and you have a master, and your master is the devil. Your master is the evil one. And you yourself are a victim. So who's beating on you? Who's cheating on you? Who's doing all these foul things? It's, like you said, it's evil. But flesh and bone is not so much evil. It's the evil that came inside of that person. So when you live in a life of sin, what can you expect?
It becomes an easy route, an easy decision.
You said the man killed several people. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
That's what the
you
paper said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh,
you know what I'm
allegedly.
saying? Allegedly.
Now you can read it.
Allegedly said he was a killer. You know what I'm saying? That automatically lets me know he was in the dark. We're all victims, and once we understand that, we could maybe come to a better place where we could maybe forgive. And the only thing I want to say about men cheating, because I totally understand. I'm married, and for one, you got to be married. That's just the way it is, and you know that.
Yes.
So we don't even have to say that. You
Correct.
know, you have to be married.
Correct.
But again, the same dude that's cheating, he's messed up. He's in the dark. He's a victim. He's not purposely doing it to you. No, just let me make a point. So it's like it's like you get a taste of something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when you get that taste, you got to keep going for that taste. You know what I'm saying? It overtakes you.
The adrenaline.
Yeah, exactly. He could be totally in love with you.
Yeah.
We're men, and I'm telling you how it go. You know what I'm saying? He could be totally in love with you. It's not a personal thing.
Yeah.
He's in a life of sin. He's in the darkness now. You know what I'm saying? And he got a taste of something. And he's a predator. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna take down what he can, but it's not so personal.
It's like a decorated soldier. You know, just trying to live a normal life.
It's not so personal.
You don't
take
feel
it more personal than what it should be.
Oh, it's personal.
No, it's
If
personal
you're
for
in my
her.
bed.
For you, it's
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Think about this. Okay.
But it's not personal for the
You're
man.
a very intelligent man. I think the men here are intelligent. You have a beautiful woman that does everything that you need and provides and does everything, right? And you step outside of that relationship. You know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
You know you're causing that person some sort of harm. So I don't want to hear you. Listen, do I agree that people make mistakes? Absolutely. But this is outright black and motherfucking white. When you cheat, you outright know what the fuck you're doing. You know what you're doing to the next human.
That's right.
So my point is, you do it to the next bitch over there, not this one. You know what I mean? I'm not. Listen, I'm for me. I'm for me. And for me, and this goes with everything in my life. This goes for friendship, business, everything. You know exactly. I know what I'm doing when I'm doing it.
So the point I want to make to that
Please.
is
Please, because my blood pressure. Please.
I definitely want to make this
I'm
point.
spinning the chair. Please make sense of that one.
Everybody to make clear the point that I'm about to make.
Okay.
So with what she just said, that is why you are supposed to choose a husband. You see, fornication is against God. You are supposed to choose a husband, and a husband is supposed to choose a wife. And once you have dedicated yourself to the Lord, now it is not about you being loyal to her. I'm being loyal to God. You understand? When I don't cheat on mine, when I don't go sleep with mine, it's not about her. It's about the commitment that I made with her, with God. But if you're not in a marriage and you're dealing with someone who don't even fall for that, how can you hold him on that?
Well, you know what? So
Being that you was raised
right.
Catholic.
Loyalty is really big, right?
Yeah.
So what I learned recently was I wasn't being loyal to myself. So if I'm not loyal to me, how could I be loyal to you? Now, if I'm, I would never step out on a man. Like I think that's dirty. Me personally could never do that. But if he's doing it to me or anything, business, it doesn't matter, friendships, whatever. If someone's doing wrong by me and I continue to stay in that relationship, that's on me now. It's not on that person. I'm smart enough to leave. Trust me, I know when it's happening and I get all the signs.
What's the signs?
Oh, there's so many of them. So,
because I need to know that.
Okay, so what do we talk about?
Because sometimes y'all get it wrong.
Okay.
Sometimes, I'm not saying you did, but sometimes y'all get it wrong.
A baby came out of it, so I didn't get it wrong.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Right.
that's a definite sign right there.
Right.
That's a definite
I
sign.
think signs that a partner is losing interest in you is their phone calls they're less and less. Their messages to you are less and less. You get words like "I love you" down to "love you," like they don't no longer spell the word "you." They put the letter. Like there's little. You could be in a hurry and just put no.
I don't know how that goes.
Okay, well, when you speak to a person, right, you have a whole conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're getting bored or tired or whatever, you start to the conversation gets less and less. They have more things to do. They don't have enough time for you.
Right.
That's how you know your relationship isn't what it was or where it's going.
Well,
It's not. You don't think it's falling
New
into, but you don't think it's falling into a
level of comfort.
a routine of comfortability.
Okay, well, don't get that comfortable then. Because I still deserve all the respect in the world. Because I'm the one that's going to go to the wire. I'm the one that's going to go over the wire. I'm the one that's going to send the commissary, be there for every... Why do I have to go right to jail? Why is he going to jail?
Right.
See, because I ain't
say nothing about jail, bro. I ain't say nothing about jail.
It's jail energy.
You asked
jail energy. You got jail energy.
You asked one question, all
I
of a
didn't
sudden
say nothing about
commissary. Like, this is
prison.
all you.
I purposely didn't say nothing about prison, man.
What about a letter of comfortability? Commissary.
Oh my God, my bad. I guess I'm used to all my men going to jail. But I'm going to tell you.
Champ, back away, Champ, back away.
PSI report.
It's in my house.
Okay, I'll read that. I think for me, it's a matter of, like, I just want to rock out with somebody. Like, I just want that. I want, like, a buddy. Like, I want a partner. Of course, when we're home. But, like, I want that person that I could look at you from across the room and you know exactly what my eyes just said.
Right.
I don't got to say nothing. Right. If you see me crack my neck, you know exactly what that means.
Neck cracking again.
Like when I roll my neck, that means I'm very uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. You know, but it's that way with friendships. It's that way with business. Like if we're making money together, like there's got to be a respect. It's marriage. Right. You know what I mean? It's a marriage.
Yeah.
You have to be loyal to the person that you're dealing with.
You know, I've always said if you want to keep a relationship like really tight, make money together.
Really?
Yeah.
You think that's really a good idea?
I think that it does.
Explain that to me, Matt.
I'm gonna say why.
Go.
All right. Okay. As far as business, you have to think logically.
I'm out.
And sometimes
boom,
there it is.
Boom.
There it is.
Answer it before I even had a chance to say anything. Boom.
There it is.
You have to think logically.
You have to think logically. And if you can find a woman that's gonna think logically with you, it'll transfer over into other areas.
Well, I'm not too sure about that,
Yeah.
but I'm always willing to do whatever I can to make it grow. So if it's a matter of let's make money, okay, let's figure out the best road to travel to make money. I can make money. I mean, and I'm going to toot my own horn out loud. I'm here 13 years. I'm off TV several. I'm still there.
Right.
I'm still her.
Right.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. So just because you don't see me in the club or see me, I'm 53. I'm a grandmother of 4. I don't want to be in the fucking club.
Right.
I'll go do my business and I'll leave. But I'm her. trust and believe me, I am my father's daughter all day, every day.
So you're originally from Staten Island?
Nope, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Man.
Brooklyn, come on,
Brooklyn,
son. How
come
you
on,
ain't know
what's up,
that?
Brooklyn?
Yeah, we got a Brooklyn in the house.
Brooklyn. What
I'm
part?
a Brooklyn
Yeah.
girl.
What part?
Is it Bensonhurst?
Bensonhurst,
Bensonhurst.
Okay.
66
Yeah, it is.
between 17th and 18th. My father had a card club. I moved when I was 3 though, but I still say Brooklyn. Then I moved to Staten Island, and as my father's career came up, so did our houses, so did everything else, and yeah, I'm blessed.
Right.
I learned lessons that probably people will never learn. I've seen things that I wish people could never see. But I know, and just that statement, I feel like so empowered by me saying that about myself, because I never say that about myself. Like, I never give myself the grace I should. Yeah, I fucked up a whole lot of years, okay? I didn't fuck up the marriage. I fucked up dating. I fucked up relationships with guys because I'm a dominant personality, and I have to learn to do the little girl thing. But
Or find the guy who's with the
Who's with
personality.
that? Yeah. But she didn't. But then that would be a beta, and I don't think she's attracted to betas.
No. If you're not like me or worse, like you can keep walking.
Yeah, exactly.
No, not
So
necessarily.
I don't
We
think
gotta
she
stop
would
throwing
be
that
interested.
around, because there's more than just alphas and betas. There's gammas, there's omegas. Like, there's a bunch of different dudes different people types who fit in a bunch of different categories.
No, I'm saying beta because a beta would be submissive.
I don't want that.
No, I think. Okay, I hate this. I hate this part. I'm an omega.
Okay.
I'm not an alpha. I'm not a beta. I am an omega. I'm cool to let you do whatever you're doing as long as it don't bother me.
Okay.
And I'm not intimidated by it. My father always said, nothing a woman does ever stops you from being a man. Nothing she does. Nothing alleviates your responsibility for being a man. If she's making money, if she's strong, she's loud, whatever, that don't bother me. It don't bother me. You do what you do. I'm not intimidated. I'm indifferent. As long as you're not in my way, I don't care what you do.
So dramaless.
It doesn't have to be drama.
but
that shit
if
don't
I'm
work for me.
cool,
But that can
cool.
come off as I don't really give a fuck.
Ooh, I
You
don't
know
really
what I
give a
mean?
fuck. Like a
Yeah.
guy that doesn't ever get jealous.
It
Yeah.
does, which I never do. It does. It does come across that way. I have
Sometimes
had
you need that
issue.
spice, man. You need that
I'm
spice.
not here for the spice.
Yeah.
You see what spice gets you. You see
What do
what
you
spice
mean?
gets you.
Yo,
Whoa.
It's about to turn up.
Whoa. Okay, so what spice gets you is a loyal woman that's at home at all times when she needs to be home.
You think I'm talking about you?
You pointed at me.
The relationship. You had a very spicy relationship.
I went out with a jerk off. That wasn't spicy. I went out with a fucking loser. Are you out of your mind? Spicy. He was a jerk off. He was a jerk off. And the last guy I dated was a con man. Imagine I said I date cons, just not con men.
Right.
Like seriously. I want a man who can handle my personality, who doesn't feel intimidated around me, but just knows. Like, why would you want to hurt somebody that's been hurt? If you can't deal with me, then go. It's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna die, I promise.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing you can do that's gonna make me sit home and just die. I'll get back. 3 days later, I'm back.
Right.
I feel the exact same
Maybe
way.
like
3
a month.
days?
Maybe a month.
45.
45. I'll probably go to treatment for like a month or something. I'll take another trauma class.
So what are the tips that you've learned
I've
on
learned
keeping a relationship?
Oh, well, I haven't
In the
been
right
one in.
relationship.
I haven't been in one in a really long time. But what I do know is, let a man be a man.
How do you do that? Especially when you're a strong personality. How do you do that?
See, I was always the type of girl, like if there was a check on the table, I'm really my father's kid. So let a man lead. A man likes to lead. Your opinion isn't always necessary. You can have a conversation with your partner, but you don't always have to voice everything you say. And if he's a really strong man, he's going to want to think he's the only man in the relationship. And for me I'm just a really strong woman who's gotten screwed over by men.
Right.
So I pick up both. I pick up the mom and the dad. You know what I mean? So I think a woman has to find a man that is secure with himself, A man that is truly, if she's looking for it. If she's looking for a relationship, he needs to be emotionally available. The first signs of him not being emotionally available means he's not there. Like the red flags to me used to mean carnival. Today, they don't. Today, they mean step away.
Right.
Stop
you know?
sign.
Yeah, dead ass. I thought I was going on a roller coaster every time. I was like, whoa!
Oh, yay.
Okay. My roller coaster went down and then went back up. I think, you know what's really great? I'm writing a book. This is my memoir. And in that
Another
book.
book.
Yeah, it'll be my fourth
Because
book.
you got a couple bestsellers.
I have a cookbook, how to use a meat cleaver. That's what they're dating me.
Pause.
And how to chop things up.
Don't ever say that. That's a pause.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have an erotic novel that I wrote. And that's
We got to get that to the jail.
oh, that's
We gotta
spicy.
Get that to the jail.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. I have a friend. Oh, that belongs in jail.
Yeah.
It's spicy, but it's also somewhat based on me, and then like a few important men in my life that I rolled into one character. So it's obviously her name is Rain Supreme Grazie. She has black hair and green eyes.
Reign Supreme Croxby.
Grazie.
Thank you.
So it's a really good, and then I did a children's book called Grandma and Me on the Run. It was supposed to be Grandma and Me on the Lam, but they wouldn't let me do it.
Right.
And this next book is I Am My Father's Daughter. And it's a breakdown of everything that we've talked to more in detail. There's a movie that's going to be following it up.
Nice.
But I think what I'm learning as I'm starting to write more chapters is I always say I know how to play my position, but then I pop out and I'm in your lane. So I have to learn if I am going to choose the woman lane, I have to stay there.
Right.
When I have to put my business hat on and whoever I'm partnered with, business, relationship, friendship, whatever, I have to then take the woman hat off and be business. I have to learn the difference. Like mine crosses over. Like if we're in business and we're involved, you make a mistake in front of me, like I feel some type of way.
Yeah.
But business is business, relationship is
It's a
relationship. And I'm just learning that now. I don't know if I'm really good at. No, I'm not good at it at all. Definitely not. No, I failed that course. I have to go back.
Right.
However, whoever ends up with me, you're either blessed, otherwise you'll be stressed.
And on that note,
I didn't say nothing. I wasn't even going to say
I know,
nothing.
but you keep looking at me.
You're the guest. I was looking at him. You're the guest.
We're going to take a 5-minute break.
Because my father, his presence, my father was short. My father was maybe like 5'8". He was a giant. This man could walk into a room and command this respect and this attention that is the most exhilarating thing you'd ever see in a million years. You've never seen anything like him. And maybe because he's my dad, I feel that way. But I'm telling you, you don't get to my father's position unless you're that guy.
Right.
So to climb through those ranks, and my father had no education. So what I learned about my dad when he passed was my father lived in a trailer park. And 3 sisters. His mom and dad had, my father's, there's Mary, my dad, and his twin sisters. His father left and had 3 more girls and a boy, and his mother had 2 boys and a girl. So he's got like lots of sisters. What's that, like 8, right? So I also learned that my father's sisters were sexually assaulted. So at the age of 12, the man that was living in my grandmother's house, he suddenly died in an electrical fire. At 12, my father was gone. So my father was that way on his own. No mob, no fucking gangster shit. That's the man that he is. Anything he experienced in his life, he took that and gave it to his daughters. Maybe he forced certain things on us, like staying within our own community and Like, we always had to be fully dressed. Like, if people come to the house, we had to have pants, and our shoulders would have to be covered, and our necks. Now, I never understood your shoulders are sexy, and so is your neckline. I never understood that. But he learned it in a different way. So he raised us all about, like, he gave us this information about men. And I wish he didn't, because I wish I was dumb sometimes. I wish I was dumb to a lot of things that men do. I could see what you're doing, because I learned from the motherfucking best. There's no better than him. Then you put me into the music industry. I started out as an assistant for 50 Cent. So you put me at the top. So I saw, and I saw, and I saw, and I saw. So for me, when it comes to a relationship, I already know. So I need that honesty. I need that. I need that. If I'm not the only one, then tell me. And it's my choice if I stay.
Right.
Okay?
The choice has to be given.
Exactly. But to stay and to be bullshitted that you're the only one, and then when you find out you're not, that's devastating. Hence, I'd rather be smacked than cheated on.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
It's devastating because my loyalty is so great. I'm a German Shepherd. Trust him. I'm like 20 of them. You know, and I'd said I'm referring to a dog, but the dog is loyal. Yeah. The seal knows the tricks. Like, I was raised that way. Renee, sit, stay. Okay, Daddy. I knew what to do. So if you tell me what to do, I know to do it. If you don't tell me and you let me run, I'm going to run with my father's attitude. So we talk about ego, like going into treatment. I didn't know what an ego was. They were like, you have an ego. I'm like, me? I have an ego? Are you out of your fucking, you're entitled. What the, how do you even spell that word? I thought it was because, that's right. I thought it was because of, my dad raised me to be this way, so how could I be entitled? It's what he told me.
Right.
I didn't understand the real world. I didn't live a real life.
Hand her the tissues. Get the tissues.
Get the tissues.
No, for real. Like, I live a complete fairy tale. If you want to call it a fairy tale, it's more like a nightmare.
Compared to most.
Like, it's different.
Right.
So I don't mean to come out of pocket when I do, and I don't mean to be aggressive. I just am. You want, like, a cat pisses on things and marks his territory? Men mark their territory too. So if you are in my territory, if you're threatening my family in any way, shape, or form, beware.
Was that your dad marking you?
Of course he marked me. Of course he did. He just didn't know. He didn't know what he was doing.
Well, he did.
No, he didn't. He didn't have parenting.
No, I wasn't going to say he knew what he was doing. What I was going to say is every parent I've ever come into contact with, they're all doing the best they can. They're all giving their kids what they believe.
They're doing a version of what they believe is the best.
Well, I mean, that's still the best best thing that they know how to do 9 times out of 10. And I'm not talking about bad faith argument with a parent who's naturally fucked up. I'm talking about if you went through child abuse as a kid, your version of parenting now may still be child abuse, but it's lighter than what they knew. You think what I mean? Like if your father grew up getting punched to say hello. Hey, how you doing, kid? Bang! Real hard. And then when I have a daughter,
I don't know if I could agree with that.
This is not a complete.
It's
this is not a story.
Behavior.
Yeah, this is not.
It's learned
exactly.
behavior.
But
his version
my
of
father
parenting.
not being in my life made me a better father.
But that's a different. That's different.
My son is
That's
a better
different.
man than his father could ever fucking be in
Without
a
knowing
million
his
years because he saw his mother get the shit knocked out of him when he was 4.5 years old.
So there's certain things that he's not going to do.
He'll never know because he knows what I've been through. Like my son and I don't discuss a lot of the stuff because I don't think it's fair. But my son saw my whole face butterfly at 16 years old. And I'll tell you, he didn't say, I didn't say that. So either he's blocking that out, which he is, or doesn't want to have to admit what he saw. So there are times my son and I will get into arguments. I'm like, you were right fucking there. You saw it. He's like, I didn't see nothing. So I've learned as a parent that a child doesn't have to know every single thing. I'm a rape victim. Not just by his father, but by someone else. No, don't be sorry. I had
hate to hear it.
It's okay, because you know what? What I went through, I can help somebody else. God made me this way on purpose. A lot of people would have killed themselves with the shit that I've been through, and trust me, that's like this big compared to what I've been through. But he made me the way that I am. I don't bend, I don't break, I bend. Now I have to bend at the knees because I'm 53, and when you try to bend over, it hurts. And I always have a joke to follow up, because you know why? I have to laugh.
Keep from crying.
Because if I actually think about my life, I want to self-medicate. And I know that my dad is pulling strings from heaven. Trust me, I don't know how I got out of that car on January 4th. I have no clue. Every airbag, every window, everything. Don't know how I got out of the car. Well, I know God and my dad, definitely my dad. So when I talk about relationships or business or friendships, I just need to know you have my back. That's it. Because I will go to the end of the earth for you. But just be loyal.
What does it take to know? Because I've been in situations where I could do the world, but if it's not identified as he's doing the world to that woman, it's like, so, you know?
So I think I'm complex. I'm not complicated, I'm complex. In the sense of, I'm like a Cancer, their motto is I feel. So I have to feel something from you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But Renee, what I'm asking is, what does that look like to you?
What does that look like to me?
Yeah.
That looks like what? In what area of my life?
This is the complex part.
Yeah, exactly.
If a man is showing that he has your back. Now, if there's a woman, there's certain women, if I take care of them financially, they're like,
okay, I get you.
For some women, that's like, so what? You got money. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay. So
and they're looking for something else to be shown.
Right. I think for me, it's the emotional fulfillment. It's that little bit of time. It's that hand holding. It's that in the bed watching a movie. It's that cooking at home. That's what it is for me.
It's your love language.
Yes. Like if you're in the street, I know. Like if I'm involved with a person who's in an industry, like I know what the industry is.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat. But it's an industry. You come home. We have a relationship. We have great communication. There's that love. There's that affect. It's respect, protect, and never neglect. That's simple. That's exactly who I am.
Respect, protect,
and never neglect. That's who I am.
That's a bar.
That's
a bar.
But that's what it is for me. It's nothing more than that. I understand this industry that I am in. I understand that things don't always present themselves, roses and all that. I understand that.
Right.
But as long as I know I'm her, I don't give a fuck.
But that's the tough part is the type of guy that I imagine you want is a man like your father.
Absolutely.
Who's not an emotional man.
He can't be emotional because he can't make the right fucking decisions. You got to clip somebody. You can't. You got to be emotionally fucking stable.
That's what I'm saying. Like most women, they want a real nigga, but they don't understand
What it take to be a real
what comes with being a real nigga.
Okay, so what does?
Might not translate to you as what you want a man to be.
Okay, so explain what. I don't say the N word.
Right.
Okay.
So when I say a real
man.
like someone who stand up.
Right? I know what stand up is, but explain what you just said with the N word.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Right. It's like the same thing.
Same thing.
So
a stand-up guy.
A woman would want
Yes.
like
In
woman
Italian,
would want like
yes.
a like
In
a
Italian,
strong
stand-up guy.
like a strong
So a stand-up
man,
guy.
In
a strong
Italian,
man
yeah.
that's gonna protect them,
Okay,
right?
I'm
There you go.
hey, listen, I'm just
I'm
trying to
helping.
put them together.
Hey, we're all
Because
helping.
I'm
a
trying to
strong man that's
understand.
going to protect them, right?
Yes.
Now they meet this guy who has a history of what most people would call violent behavior,
Brutal.
but for the purpose of serving either his family or his people. But that's there.
Okay.
So there's a certain shut off to emotion.
Oh, I get it. Okay, so
You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so you're saying a man that's in the street that has to handle business a specific way has a shut-off button.
Right.
Right.
So when you're looking for that affection, that holding hands, that might not be part of the resume for the type of guy that you're looking for.
Ooh.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, unfortunately, I am.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it might show up in different ways. You can have whatever you want. Go to the furrier. Go to the jeweler. It might show up in different ways.
I don't want that anymore.
Because you had it as a child.
You don't want it because you had it already.
And that's what he was saying earlier. When you
Right.
come across a woman who's like, okay, so what? You have money, so what?
Yeah.
Right. I think it's that I'm gonna be there when you're falling apart. I'm gonna help pick you up. And it doesn't necessarily mean coddle me like I'm a fucking baby, because you're gonna get a baby. Don't coddle me, but also use kid gloves. Like, I need kid gloves.
Well, you're a woman.
I'm a woman and I'm grown and I should know better and I have all this wisdom and all this knowledge, but I'm still a fucking human. And this human needs that attention at times, that you're undivided, no phones, no bullshit. I want to sit down and have dinner. I want to look at you. How was your day? Yes, I ask a lot of questions, FYI. But it's not because I'm looking for something. It's because how was your day?
You're not probing, you're interested.
Right.
If listen, I'm not the type to probe, but like, where the fuck were you last night? What did you do? You know what I mean? That's,
But you're invested. You're invested in his day.
Yes, and I think with everything that I'm doing now in my life and being, a single, I want a grandpa. I want a grandpa for my grandma. That's what I want. I want someone that doesn't mean he's got to play with the kids and do it. I want a grandpa.
But you understand there's a sacrifice to that.
Yeah.
Because grandpa's hip is bad. So when it's time to get it popping.
Oh, he's more concerned about me than the grandkids. Absolutely.
I'm just saying. When it's time to get it popping, it might not be that. So, there's a balance. There's a balance. There's a balance. You got to decide, like, what are you willing to sacrifice?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm not willing to sacrifice my sanity and my peace for nothing.
Me neither.
For nothing. And if something isn't making me happy, then I can't do it. I can't.
Let it go.
I don't have the mental capacity any longer. I have been tried every which way possible. I'm at a point in my life where I want to know if I call you, you answer, regardless of the time. And if I say, I need you right now, step outside from whatever it is you're doing, that you can do that for me. Hey, I'm about to A, B, or hey, I need you, but I need you. Now, do I have enough respect for that person to know they're about to do something for their career? Yes, I do. So I can hold those tears for, how long is the performance? Half hour.
Yeah.
I got, you know what I mean? I can do that too. I'll never embarrass a man. I might get a little loud and a little, like I mark my territory too. I do. Right. Because I'm proud. If I'm with you, I'm so proud of you because it's like this. It's not like you belong to me, like this is us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is us, and nobody's gonna violate us under no circumstances. So when we talk about people hitting people in the DM and girls saying, I saw your man, he was here, he was there. Okay. Where is he now? Hey, sweetheart, I don't give a shit.
Right.
You got to do what you got to do out there, and I got to do what I got to do out there. So if I have to smile with a bunch of men and take pictures and your hands around my waist, make sure you don't grip my waist, and make sure your hand's not on my back where it doesn't belong.
Right.
I get it. It's an industry that we're in. You know what I mean? You understand. She understands.
I totally understand. It's just sometimes the people I date don't understand. You know?
Well, it's not no,
what it
but
is.
it's not easy.
Right.
This is not an easy lifestyle. You go out with guys, okay, so being on the road with like 50 and all of them, like, I understand why their women felt the way they did because I'm standing there. So I see. So I know why they feel insecure or, you know, not trustworthy of. I know why.
Right.
So
But do they identify that their feeling that they're getting is not necessarily coming from infidelity? It's coming from seeing that they got options.
Hey, listen. If I ain't your only option, you need to go. You need to go, and quickly.
Listen, some women will cripple you to make sure that you don't have no other option.
And then they won't want you
Absolutely.
And then they won't want you right after
that. As
Absolutely.
soon as they sink the boat.
Delete all your numbers out your phone and be like, I don't want you.
It's just one thing I'm confused on. So, you said if it's not if he have another option, he got to go. But if he's upfront with you and tell you that what he's doing, but he's going to come home, then it's okay?
As long as you're not in bed with someone else, risking my health, do what you got to do. It is what it is. I get it. Been there. I know what it is. I know what it is for me to be out around men. And I've dated men that have felt some type of way when I'm out. Like, I'm the last person who's laying down with somebody if I'm the last person in the world. I just it's business. Business is business. Great, do it. Make the money, bring the money home, and let's go on vacation. You know what I mean? But it's that reassurance every now and then that you have to tell the other person. You have to show the other person. And it doesn't mean with furs and diamonds. It just means show up for them. Hey, and I'll use me. Hey, Renee, I know your anxiety's bad. You don't sleep. How you doing? Mm-hmm. It's simple. Mm-hmm. It's really simple. I live in Florida. Mm-hmm. I have no family there. I'm alone. Hey, babe, you need something? I'm going to come for the day. I could only stay 5 hours, but I'm going to come. It's that kind of support, mm-hmm. And I understand sometimes people just come along in your life and you've been working and you have your own career that it's not that easy to get up and say, hey, I'm getting on a plane to see you because 5 hours turns into 12. That means your work day is gone. But if you can make time for that person that you love, that you say you love, then make time.
What's the biggest turnoff for you?
Yeah.
Biggest turnoff?
The biggest turnoff for you?
A user. Someone who is that's like disgraceful. Like you gotta be.
You mean misuse?
No, I mean using me for anything I have. Like you gotta be a jerk off to like come along and go like because she has X, Y, and Z in her pocket.
Right.
Like and unfortunately, the someone from the past did exactly that. The engagement ring, did it all to get something I had. And once they got that, they treated me like I was like a hooker on the street.
That's misuse.
That's used, misused, and abused all in one.
That's misuse.
That's a bar.
Yeah, so I think where I am now is a lot of things, and shame on me, a lot of people I look at, I got to really look at you.
Right.
Like, what are you here
There's
for?
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't
shame on you. There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think there is, anything wrong with me being protective of myself.
Yeah, who could ever knock you for that? There's nothing wrong with that.
So do you screen anybody that come in your life now? You screen them head to toe?
Or is it just an innate? Is it an innate?
You got to screen.
Is it innate already, being that you've been through so much?
No, it's not.
You talk for me.
It's a feeling.
That's why I said
Still
innate.
a feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then
I
you
get
figure
what
it
you're
out
saying.
later.
Yep.
Right.
Which isn't smart because I go with I feel instead of I think.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But if I feel something and there's fire, whoo.
So industry is everything.
Yeah, like if you give me what I'm looking for, you're so secure, you're so locked in. Like I'll give you my world, I'll give you my people, I'll give you Like you're just so well taken care of.
Yeah.
Like if I put it into terms of money, like you're a billionaire. If I give you me, you're a billionaire.
You're a cooker. You cook?
Of course I
That's
do.
what I'm talking about.
How to use a
That's
meat
what I'm talking
cleaver.
about. Yes.
There's only one issue with that. There's only one
I could poison
one way
you.
that goes wrong. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah. That's why I stopped. You know what? Never mind.
Was that what you was getting?
Yeah, I'm quiet. I'm so quiet. No, you know what it is? Because insecure people will tell you the exact same thing. Someone will tell you that, well, I feel that you're this kind of way, but you're forgetting that you're seeing me through the glasses of all your experiences.
Right.
So you're looking at me, sizing me up, and you see intentions in me that I don't have.
Preach.
Because of what you've come from. So now I'm dealing with
Get 'em
the
back
ghost of relationship past.
Right.
I'm answering for everybody who's ever done you dirty, and your instincts are now your instincts aren't lying to you, but it's a lot happening over here.
It's a flag going on. Yeah.
It's a lot.
As long as it ain't a red flag, I don't care. No, absolutely.
If you got rose-colored glasses on, they all look red.
I'm
All
guilty.
flags look
I
red.
am looking at you like, you motherfucker. You're not going to be different. Because you know why? The shoe always drops where I come from. Always has. I have no proof that the shoe stays on. I have no proof. So what do I expect? The shoe to drop, right? So if I have no proof that somebody is who they say they are, what am I going to do?
Those who fear their karma created the
You know what?
fastest.
Me and you are going the fuck outside. Me and you are going the fuck outside. And if you clap, I'll take the shoe off and throw it at you.
Can we get to the hip hop
Then the
stuff?
shoe would
What do
drop.
you have
Don't wanna get
earwigs?
into
You
this
two, do you
one
have
next.
earwigs?
Then the shoe would drop.
Listen,
You took my shoe off,
99% of the memes on Instagram about relationships, Mecca's dad was responsible. Just so y'all know.
Nah. All kidding aside. All kidding aside.
I got some hip hop.
I'm
questions,
just
man.
grateful.
You know why I'm talking like this to you? Because I looked at my father the exact same way you looked at yours. When the way you talk about him, there's a reason I don't bring him up the way I used to. On this show, I used to have a quote every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore because people
Still
walk up
been
to me
doing that.
talking about, yo, your father this, your father that, and they'll get disrespectful. They think my father's name is for jokes, and it really doesn't sit with me. I was fucked up 2.5 years after my father passed. I wasn't right for a while. I cut tons of people off. The woman I was seeing, I looked at her like, what the fuck are you even doing here? I know exactly.
That's when you smoking?
I never smoked in my life.
I wish I did. I would have been skinny.
See,
I ate on cocaine. Man.
little shit like that.
How do you do that? You
I
gotta
don't
do
know.
that.
Little shit like that leaves the shop. People walk up to me with them same
Right.
kind of jokes, and it
Right.
takes a lot for me to.
I apologize.
Yo, who are you? Why would you even think that you can speak like that? I know exactly where you're coming from.
Okay, yeah, yeah, you do, because that's exactly what it feels like. You know, when
Yeah.
someone will approach me about mob wives, and I was just at a friend of mine was shooting a movie, and I was there, and the guy got a little drunk, him and his girlfriend, and the guy turned around and he decided to talk crazy to me, like he brought up my son's father. That rat motherfucker. Now, I know he's a rat. It's not necessary for everybody else to know because now you're talking about my kid. Because I'm AJ's mother. So when you're knocking his father's garbage. I told you, I would spit in his face. But I have to protect my child. So it luckily did not escalate. And I think it's the first time in my life I got off the chair. I said, excuse me. He said, you're going to be disrespectful. I said, fuck you. I'm getting up. I walked over to somebody. I was already crying. And I said what he said. And he went over. He checked him. And then 2 people came from the back. And they're shooting a mob movie. And it's a murder scene. And in my heart, I'm like, I wish this really was. Like, I really wish to God that somebody would have just, maybe not clipped him, just handled him a specific way. But I knew in my heart, he's drunk. I feel the same way about the person. He brought my dad up. So now it starts bringing up my guilt for my dad, like, because this was my ex-husband. So it started to kick up a lot of emotion.
Right.
But I had somebody there to like say, hey, come on, why don't you come sit down in here and take me out of it? And they took me out of it really quick that I didn't even get back up and go in the other room. Normally, I would have fucking chewed his face off. Literally, I would have bit his face without even a question. I would have thought it would have been a murder movie, a real one. But I knew not everybody deserves that from us. And I think it was the first time that I realized, you know what? I think this person has my back. If they're worried about me losing my cool, they remove me from certain situations that they know.
Right.
They know I'm going to
gonna
lose
trigger
it. Like, and they calmly speak to me. When you speak to me calmly, I'm able to hear you. If you're yelling at me, I can't hear no more.
Yeah.
So I think it was, you know, there's been like this last week, there's been a lot of moments in my life where I'm realizing that I got to drop my guard. I don't have to be an attack dog. Maybe this person does have me. Maybe he could be my attack dog. Because I can't go around as a 53-year-old woman with 4 grandkids beating you and your mother up. You know what I mean? And looking for your grandmother. I can't. It's not sexy. It's not attractive.
Right.
And it's not Renee Graziano.
So that vulnerability has to become part of who you are.
My father was diplomatic, and that's what I have to learn to become, diplomatic.
Now I gotta ask, because you think the mob, you think criminal organizations, you don't think television.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, lay it on me.
So who came up with the idea of making a show about the wives of something that's supposed to be hush hush?
You mean like the tattoo?
Like that.
My
Oh,
sister.
that's crazy.
My sister.
Your sister came up with the idea
So
for the
my
show?
father was in jail. My sister Jennifer said I got a great idea for a show. It was supposed to be scripted, but the more she saw it, she was like, "It's in my face." So she asked me if I had any friends. She took Drita and Karen; those are her friends, and she needed another girl. I said, "Carla." I go, "But what about me?" She goes, "No, maybe you could do wardrobe." I was like, "But Jenna, I'm born for this." She's like, "No." And it wasn't until the day before the meeting that we had a VH1 did she say I was included. I knew it was a hit from the second she spoke on it. I knew it. Everybody wants to know about the mob, but we're not telling on nobody.
Right.
However, my dad didn't talk to me for 2 years.
Damn.
Yeah, that was like horrible.
Was it just you or
No,
everyone?
me and her. And there were certain restaurants we weren't welcome in anymore. Meanwhile, Joe Valachi was the one that fucking snitched, but, you know, we're not telling on nobody. We're speaking of our own experience. Now, my father, that's mine. I could talk about my father. The other person, I wouldn't claim him, but I could still talk about him.
Did he know when y'all was creating the show?
No. With a mob, we kept it quiet. Listen, this man, I will never forget walking into a visiting room and he was like, "Get the fuck out." And I was just like, he's like, "Don't ever speak to me." Wow. I was like, what did I do? And I was actually I died on an operating table. I lost 6.3 pints of blood while trying to get an ass and a flat stomach because everybody telling me I wasn't pretty, I wasn't this, I wasn't that. So I listened to those voices. I died on the operating table, 6.3 pints of blood, MRSA through my whole body, in the hospital. I've read my last rites twice. I'm vancomycin resistant, so they couldn't get the fever and the infection gone. And my father had called the hospital, and my mom answered, and the priest got on the phone and said, "Say goodbye to your daughter." And my father said, "She got you bullshitted too." And the priest said, "Your daughter's dying." And my father got on the phone. He said, "I love you. Don't ever talk about nothing." And I handed my mother the phone back. And then maybe like a year and a half after that, he started to talk to me. But my father's never seen the show. He's never seen anything I've ever done, even outside of Mob Wives.
Not the books?
Oh, God, no. Definitely not the erotic novel. No, definitely not. He
On the Run with Grandma? You didn't say that?
He loves Grandma and Me on the Run. And of course, the Meat Cleaver. But any television I've ever done, no. You know, I did WeTV Marriage Boot Camp, and the person that came on with me got really, really drunk and very handsy, and he used the N-word. And he got cracked on television. And I'm not proud to say it, but I'm really happy I did it. You know, I don't look at anybody differently. And growing up, I thought everybody was different. Religion, race, I didn't understand. But now that I know, nobody's better than me and I'm not better than nobody else. So all this talk and all this nonsense that we see every fucking day, it really makes me angry on the inside because love is love. Love is love. If I love you, if you're purple, I love you. Like, I wait for those spaceships. I can't wait for them to come down. I want me a green man now. Like, I'm waiting, you know. I grew up ignorantly. My son isn't ignorant. My grandchildren will never be ignorant. And I'm just very grateful that I still have a voice, that people still are interested in me and, you know, the things that I do. And I don't threaten people as much as I used to. And I don't mean it that way. I mean, like, normally, like, you're going in the trunk type of, like, you know, that mob talk would always come out of my mouth. Things have changed. You know, I have to grow. In order, you know, I had to go in order to grow. I had to leave where I was in order to grow. And now that I'm growing, like, I see branches and there's, you know, leaves here and there, and maybe there'll be a flower.
Flower eventually.
Absolutely, but I'm me. And I don't mean to offend no one, and I don't mean to be so abrasive at times, but I just want this. It's not a fairy tale. I want a family.
Were the restaurants the only backlash to the show? I remember having to cover Jersey Shore because there was this huge backlash happening where the Italian American community was mad at the show because they were saying they were making a mockery of their culture. They were making a mockery of their people. And I can kind of see where somebody might draw that same parallel to what you guys were doing. Maybe.
Yeah, the mob felt some type of way, probably because we were representing the mob better than they were. You know, I mean, you saw women going harder than you've seen men go hard. Women catching bids. Like, we weren't playing. Like, there's nothing scripted. I wish to God I could tell people that, especially season 4 Vegas, I was scripted. I wish. I wish to God. I always say, the only thing fake about me is my nose. And, you know, it just, it played out the way it was supposed to play out. It most definitely opened up so many doors. I had so many opportunities after Mob Wives. I went on to do television for another 4 years, being the only one, you know. And it's not just my crazy, you know, crazy Renee. It's, I stand for what I believe in.
Any celebrities ever reached out to you to get on Mob Wives?
So there was going to be a Mob Wives reboot when my sister had, it was still her show. Yeah. But she recently sold it. So, ball's up in the air.
Did you turn down the reboot, right?
No, there is no reboot as of now. I didn't turn it down. I don't turn down money. Unless it's coming from the devil. I could pass on that. Because I would never sacrifice my mental health under no circumstance. I can't. I'll die.
Right.
That's the truth. I'll die. Because it's personal to me. It's my real life.
Right.
You know, that I can't separate. Relationship and business and this and that and friendship, maybe. But that, never.
Can we talk hip hop for a second?
Let's go.
That's why I wanted to go right for a while now.
I was about to do the same thing.
Just real quick. Well, this is something that you're still in your personal wheelhouse. I've noticed lately that domestic violence in hip hop is becoming like almost acceptable. We're watching it every day.
Like, blue facing him.
And he's on there talking super casual about, I beat my bitch up. So what? You hit your bitch. I beat my bitch up. Blah, blah, blah. It's becoming normalized almost, which is definitely not to be. But the fact that they even talking that kind of reckless is gross, like super gross to
Disgusting.
Yeah.
It actually been going on. It just wasn't publicized.
Yeah.
me. No, domestic violence we all know happens, but the fact that dudes feel so emboldened
To
to talk
about
like
it,
that is kind of
it's reckless.
crazy. Have you seen?
Yes, I do go through the Instagram and I see it. Somebody needs to give the kid a beating. Like for me, you want to put your hands on a woman, then you got to get beat not like a woman, like a man. You got to get a beating to put you back in place. Now, we don't have control of the record label who's supposed to stop it. Okay, so you can't blame that's who's in charge. They hear the music. They're letting it out. So it's really the conglomerates that are causing the problem.
Yeah.
Because these are, listen, and it goes for everything. The way that they talk, and I see girls cheapen themselves, going with guys for money, just for money, and on to the next. This is what we see. I won't let my grandkids out of the house. There's no direction. First of all, there's no direction in the home, because that's where it starts.
Right.
So the second you teach your child at home, this is not okay and that's not okay, it stays with them. My son, he's got a father who was abusive and an addict, and a mother who's been through hell and an addict in recovery. My son don't get high. My son don't raise his hands. Why? Because we taught him not to. So I think there needs to be much more control from the big people.
Yeah.
Most of them is not.
Now you got to wonder why it would be promoted.
No, you don't. They're making profit from it.
It's like nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares what you talk about. Nobody cares what you do.
As long as it makes money.
There's no consequence.
None.
Right.
Remember when you said I wouldn't accept money from the devil? It's kind of what this is.
There's consequence.
For who?
I think eventually everybody has to pay the
Still
piper.
got to answer to God.
Oh, no, there's that kind of consequence. But
And
what
then
do they
there's
care if
then
they're
there's the
dead?
child. But then there's the child that watches this and grows up, and if I beat up my woman in front of my kids, I gotta expect that my daughter's gonna get older and she's gonna think that that's okay.
She might end up with a man that
Like
does
you.
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But again, it's in the household. So if we're not teaching our children properly, it's gonna, roll over into everything. Like if I don't, if you don't shit or get off the pot, excuse the term, if you don't put your past behind you, you're living in it. And unfortunately for someone like me, my past follows me everywhere. My past is what we're talking about here all night, right? So I'm still in my past. I'm standing in my present, but I'm talking about my past. So I think we need to everybody just needs some grace. Like everybody needs some grace. I'm so grateful for God's grace and mercy. Like for me, grace and mercy, we talk about the greatest thing is love. No, it's grace and mercy. Like on my knees I pray. And I think we just need a lot of love. We just need a lot of love. We need to hug each other. You know what I
That's
mean?
what cannabis
Let's
said.
bring the love back, baby. Let's bring the love back. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that.
How do you feel about the influence that the mob has had on hip hop culture?
I don't expect anything less. The mob is the mob. It's something like it's movie to a lot of people. So unless you've lived it, you don't truly understand it. You don't truly know. We talk about trials and tribulations. Sit through as many trials in real life as I did and go through the things you don't know. But gangsta is gangsta. You know what I mean? You don't got to be a mob boss to be a gangster. But a gangster also has to be a well-respected person. You have to be a gentleman. And that's where, unfortunately, the culture's taking it. No, those were gentlemen. Those men dressed to the T. Those men walked with respect. They weren't in the street drinking fucking, what do they call that thing that they drink?
40s?
I don't know.
gonna say 40s.
No.
You just took it back.
I was-
bro.
No,
She said
I'm talking
back
about that
then.
red cup shit.
Oh, lean?
Lean.
Yeah.
Lean, okay.
Lean, they call it all different. There ain't no gangsters doing that type of shit. If you want to represent something like that word, at least get it together. Look clean and neat when you're doing it. Everybody's all over it's just
Be
messy.
organized.
Yeah, it's very messy.
Any hip hop artists you had influence on?
That I had influence on?
Yeah.
No, I've told a
that
couple
influenced
people.
you?
I think 50 is a really important person in my life. He's a Cancer like me too. Working for him was always a pleasure. He's always just been a really great person to me. I've had the opportunity to work with so many. 50 definitely would stand out more than anyone else because we had a close working relationship. Always a gentleman to me, always a gentleman. And I loved it. Like, everyone's like, you must listen to Wu-Tang. I didn't come into the game until extremely late, like when Mace was out. I'm like a disco girl. I was into rock and roll. Right. Like, I was late, real late in the game.
Did you have the big hair?
Oh my God. Listen, my hair was like this big. My father had salons and stuff, so it was teased and sprayed with sparkles. Right. I love the hip hop culture. I wish they would clean it up. I wish this new era that's coming up, I don't understand it, so I don't listen to it. Right. I'm like on my country stuff right now. Like Jason Aldean, I love my Garth Brooks, and because sometimes you need happy music. Yeah. Because that's not what we're listening to isn't happy anymore.
Yeah, if you listen to it all day,
yeah,
it's definitely gonna affect your mood.
I do have a question that is within our hip hop community now that we're talking about hip hop that has been debated and questioned so much, and being that hip hop look up to the mafia stuff so much, you would be a good one to answer this question. And believe me, when you answer it, millions of people is going to listen to this answer. Okay. What is a snitch? You've been talking about it all night. Is it a difference? Is it a difference between a snitch and a rat? Break that all down, because in our community,
she's coming to the edge of the chair.
Highly being debated right now.
That's true.
Okay. So anyone that tells on you is a rat, a snitch, any way you want to look at it. My personal experience is what my ex-husband did. You're worse than any of those words because you set people up. So you're not just a rat like you told on people. You're the fucking lowest of low that there is. There's no lower than you. You put people's lives in jeopardy. You took them away from their children. Somebody like that, there's not even a word for that. Mm-hmm. Like, you're beyond a rat. You're beyond a snitch. I don't even know what you are, that you would set people up and wear a fucking wire, put a wire in your ex-wife's watch and let the feds fucking listen to, that could have put me in the jackpot. There's no fucking word for him. Mm-hmm. But on a lighter note, yes, a rat is a rat is a rat. And that's someone that tells on you to benefit for themselves. So gives them less time. Okay. So if you tell on your brother and sister, yeah, you're tattling. Okay, but you learn from home not to do it in the street, right? So if you tell on people, you're just a tattletale. But in the street, a rat is someone who does it with the intentions to get time off of their sentence. Mm-hmm. They could stay out of prison. I'm just thinking, sorry, I'm looking up. I'm trying to think it. Mm-hmm. So they could stay out of prison. They're just fucking weak.
So another
what about civilians? What about civilians?
Yes.
I'm not one, so I don't know.
But what's your opinion, though, a civilian that tells on a crime?
How about this? If God forbid,
she's knocking on.
I ever got attacked in the street, I have no choice but to go that way. How about that? And I wouldn't anymore. Well, maybe because I don't have my dad. But I wouldn't go to the mob. Nah, I would never tell. No, I'm just gonna find out where you live.
So a civilian could be like a snitch.
A regular person's supposed.
I don't look at it.
They're supposed to tell. That's why we have the police department.
I'm asking, so I
she's asking for clarity.
They're supposed to tell because that's what you're supposed to do with the police department.
They're not street.
All right, so now we have something else in our community that we have some guys that have so-called snitched on dead people, and they're saying, that is not snitching because they're dead, and
a rat is a rat is a rat.
So that's still a rat. Someone, if they're dead,
just because they're fucking dead doesn't mean that you got to tell their business. Nobody knew it, and they died with nobody knowing. Why are you telling?
Copy. I just wanted to clear that up.
Hold on.
I didn't say I agree,
man.
but
Nigga
you
trying
heard
to
that
get-
from a mob's daughter, the definition of a rat and a
son.
snitch.
Nah, son.
There's storytelling is different. Storytelling is
So wait.
No,
Renee,
in the case that he's talking about.
If I'm dead in the car, tell on me. Say
That's
I
what I
did
was
it.
gonna say. God
Straight
forbid
up.
if you
Don't
was
go to
pass
jail. Don't put
and your
yourself
son
in
can
that
get off on
situation.
crime,
Now,
would
if
you
I'm
let him
alive
tell him?
and you
Would you
tell
want
on
him to
me,
tell him?
it's a different story.
That's
Hold
what's
on.
going on.
It's a
That's
different
what's going on
story.
right now. That's the argument.
What happened?
All right.
Right,
So T.I.
Yeah, he's
told
gonna clarify.
us-
He's gonna clarify.
And it's allegedly his cousin gave him the okay to get out of his situation. Tell on him because he didn't have much time left.
To live.
The spirit of
To
his
live.
dead cousin, but I wasn't talking about T.I., but gotta add that part. So it wasn't his cousin in real life.
Bigger, I
The
know he's
spirit.
talking about, man. Get
Spirit
out, man.
of his,
Everybody
he said
watching,
the
know what
spirit
we're talking
of his
Yo,
dead
Champ.
cousin
Yo,
came
Champ.
and
If I
told him
die,
to
we
put
in the
weight
car.
on him.
Tell on me, my nigga.
Yeah.
Throw all that shit on me, my
But
nigga.
you
Don't go
saying
to
that
jail.
alive. You saying that in
If
the
I'm
physical.
alive and you tell on me,
Now
that's
wait
a
a
problem.
second. Now wait a second. I'm gonna give y'all something. Now if you snitch and now your family and that comes out and you get a case and your family now can't get the insurance because you are now, that was in criminal case, and now your murder has something to do with a crime, and now the insurance could deny your family. That's what you want? You want your kids, wait, time out, that's as deep, and it is what it is. You want your kids to know what you was doing? You want your kids, no, this is real stuff, and this is the real stuff that's in real life.
I'm dead,
You
so
want
I
your
wouldn't know.
family? It's guys that live the street life that never want their family.
I ain't talking
and their
about
kids
nothing and
or
nobody.
anything, their family or kids to know anything about their
But
lifestyle.
Bigga, I'm dead. I wouldn't know. I'm dead. I don't give a fuck.
But your children will know. Your children,
I'm
your
just
wife,
saying,
your
all
family,
I'm saying,
they
yo,
still
Bigga,
gotta be
all
out
I'm
They
there.
gonna
saying,
be
yo,
at
Bigga.
Thanksgiving. Somebody gonna pull him to the side and
All
be like,
I'm
yo, you
saying-
know, all right, cool, we good.
All I'm saying, I don't want to see none of my mans go to jail. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I'm dead, nigga, and they offering you all, yo,
Yeah, but
that's his.
Your
Right.
lifestyle
I'm
has
dead,
been
but if I'm
exposed to your
alive, though, and
family
you do
you
that,
might
that's-
have not
that's kinda
been
crazy.
exposed. We all live different things in different lifestyles that our family do not, that we shun from our family. So now when you got a snitch and you bringing that out on the table, your kids got to now see things and your wife got to see things that you might have in your life kept shunned from them.
That's
This
true.
is why that's
That
a
is
snitch.
true.
This is why people don't understand that. Now, if you on alive and you say that you could do that, that's one thing. That's you know.
Yeah, if I'm alive and you say,
totally
yo, that's
different.
Gat murder guns, that's his guns, then we got a problem. But if I'm dead, I don't give a fuck. I don't
it's
feel
people that
nothing.
never want their name to mention in no type of crime or no.
That's a term of
anything
taking it to
like
the
that.
grave.
Old school dudes. That's
Taking it
we
to the
don't play
grave.
that.
But-
you know what I'm
but-
saying?
but a
Don't
nigga- but
put my
Bigga,
name
a
in
nigga
no type
is
of
dead, though.
nothing criminal.
You dead. You
Again,
can't even.
I have children. Again, no, anybody know? Don't ever do that to me. You know what I'm saying? I have children, my bro. You know what I'm saying? I have a wife. I have a family.
Right.
And I raise them and I take care of them a certain way. I don't pay them put no light on me that I ain't put on there. That's a rat. That's some, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
That's
I
some
agree with that.
other stuff. You know
I
what I'm saying?
agree
If
with
I
that.
didn't expose that to my family, you don't expose it to them.
But what if I gave you? What if you gave?
I
Someone
just said if
permission?
you gave someone permission in the physical, that's
Well,
different.
I'm giving niggas permission. If I'm with
that's
you,
yeah.
and it's fucking
That
guns
just
in my
gave
car,
permission, you can snitch
nigga.
on
And
it.
on that
I'm
note, switching
dead.
gears, switching gears, switching gears,
Switching gears.
switching gears,
Ah,
switching gears.
Renee, what's next?
What's next for me?
The book.
Yeah.
My book. I have, okay, so Breaking Bread, which we did together. That should be out shortly. Now I have My Fairy Mob Mother, which is my creation, and it's a feel-good show.
Awesome.
I have a book. I'm going to start working on my movie and hopefully a series. And after this, who knows, a talk show.
Where's the series gonna be?
No, that'll be dope.
And everything is on the table, but as we know, a book takes time, so does a movie and the series. But more things like this will make that even more juicy.
Well, I'm saying,
spicy.
you know, when the movie is ready and you need a barbershop scene.
Oh yeah, Shorty got to get clipped in the barber.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Hey, I might meet my next love interest in the barbershop.
Well, come on down. This somebody's in it. Come on. Hey. You heard the lady. Pull up.
Renee, thank you for gracing the platform.
Oh, thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
And we out of here.
It's hot for trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf you heard.